you can.
It's not a final vocal though, probably.
Can't get enough.
I love that.
Isn't that great?
I mean, also, like, I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
it's
at all, but
crazy.
you know,
That's why I use more live.
the night, you know,
Because
from the
it's
one
a
I was
shitty
listening to.
Yeah.
It doesn't pick
Like,
up.
I
Yeah,
really
that's
great
what I-
game
Yeah, no,
vocal
it's
that we can
crazy.
do. Like, this is like just your vocal, and then we have like a gang vocal.
Is this
Like,
is
some
this like?
sample.
Well,
Yeah.
you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be
sick.
Go back to
Yeah.
that.
Love that. I think like shouts.
What do you
Yes,
Stuff like that.
yes.
The energy
John
that
Wayne
has
Yes,
is
across
so
totally,
crazy.
totally.
It's such
They
a
did?
cheat code.
Totally.
Really?
Like upward energy in every single. Here, let me record. Actually, let me do it with headphones. Let's do it
Yeah,
the
I
right
think
way.
that's right. Do it headphones.
Oh, why did it do that?
Like I've slowly but surely tried to see that the work maybe isn't working on the song, writing the song, but becoming a person that can just receive a song truthfully and let it flow through them and then just capture it. And that's actually a much bigger task to be doing because then it becomes all-encompassing. Then what your inner state is, how you're doing, who you are as a person becomes much more in the foreground as opposed to just the skill of songwriting or music making. And I think that's good and bad. I think that's forced me to kind of confront a lot of the things I was maybe carrying around with myself and that were maybe impacting my art in ways that I wasn't aware of at all. And I think it was also a lot to do with really like seeing the whole picture as opposed to looking at it song by song, but looking at it as just who am I as a human being, not even as an artist. How am I doing and how is that affecting the music? And that's been a journey I've been on, and that's also been something I've only been able to see when I stopped touring for a little bit and like kind of got out of that hamster wheel of, I always say just survival, which I love touring, but it is so just extremely tiring for mind, body, and soul. I think when you're in that headspace, it's hard to kind of reflect and really zoom out on what you're doing. Because the only thing you're kind of worried about when you're touring, I think, is where am I eating next? Where am I sleeping next? Like, who do I have to call? Where's the airport?
Be accountable for the things you take action.
Can't get enough of you, Phuket. What's up? How are you all feeling?
I was breaking down at the end of, every year and just completely, like physically, mentally, emotionally overwhelmed and as a result very numb and apathetic. Felt like I was making art not out of a need to make art, but out of a necessity for the outside world and not a necessity for myself. And I think at that point, maybe I wasn't even an artist, to be very dramatic. I was very misaligned with my art, and I think that also showed in the art that I was making. I felt very disconnected from it. But also, again, I didn't question it because, again, I was just living in the space that I'd come to know and following the routines that I'd made for myself without really being aware of it. And then I think I found my way back to my artist self through taking a break and allowing myself to go back to that childlike, curious way of making art and allowing myself to see that maybe softness isn't the opposite of strength, but much more so the beginning of strength. That doing nothing that really brought me back to my artistic self, and that was really hard to do because, of course, you know, not doing anything for 3 months is the worst thing you could possibly do for, with this example, your career. I think especially as a woman, because it is so unique, and so I'm so grateful to be in the spot that I am, that there maybe is even more pressure to be taking every opportunity we can and to never stop. And maybe I was still needing to prove something also to myself and to other people. That caused me to keep going for so long and only retreat when I really, as I said, broke down and really had no other choice but to change something. Like after a month of just existing, I started making music again as an artist, and making it maybe more selfishly also, and not because I was trying to meet deadlines. A message that I've really stand behind is also, I think we all need to decelerate and take care of ourselves and allow ourselves to normalize, like, being kind to yourself and seeing that as kind of self-maintenance and not so much self-indulgence.
1, 2, 3, jawohl, 4, 5 und 6. Okay.
I think martial arts has given me a feeling for myself and my movements just as much on stage, and similarly to dance. I think in a way it has taught me to go through life with more of, just an understanding and pride and love maybe for myself, and also trust in myself. And I think it's also made me a lot safer in all the different environments that I'm in, to feel at least a little bit protected by myself. What I've come to realize in the music that I make is that even though it is always a combination of melody and lyrics, I will put melody first nowadays. So I write melody first in 99% of the songs that I write, and then I kind of make the words fit the melody. And I think that's different from how I used to write songs, because I did used to just take very complex poems that I was writing with, hard to pronounce words and squeeze them into melodies. It's always one trigger that will kind of form the foundation of the whole thing. So that can be like a vocal melody, or a weird sample that I find somewhere, or like a super groovy beat. And then I try to kind of find things that support whatever element that is, without taking away from it, which is really hard, because I think I definitely tend to just layer more and more things and get really excited, and then a lot of the times you lose that initial thing that sparked the song. The moments that I love the most are where I just lose sense of who I am and where I am, and just become kind of one with me and my instruments, and I just allow everything to kind of happen and flow. And I think that definitely I'm only able to be at a point where that can happen because I've now played over 200, probably 300 shows in my life. I don't think I'm the only one creating when I'm playing a show. It's so much, as I say, give and take. Like, the audience doesn't get as much credit most of the times, but I really think the audience gives a lot and makes a big difference in however the show develops. It's really interesting also if you look at the effect of music on the body, where I think if you're playing music to a crowd or a room full of people, there's a certain time where it just reaches such a level of complete synchronization between everyone. And those are really, I think, the moments where you feel so just connected, and you really feel like you're together in that moment. And I think those are really the moments that I do it for.